Good morning, children. I hope you all are fine. So today is our revision class for the chapter Training and Doping in Sports. This chapter is a little difficult for all. Training and doping. Now we all know the meaning of training, right? Training means to get yourself trained, to get yourself have the knowledge of things. That is what we call as training. We are using this word training since a long time. So training means being prepared for some type of task, for any task. If you have been given a task, a work to do, like if you are going to have your exams, you prepare for that. Like now you are going to, if you have to appear for your practical exams in physical education, for any types of sports, any types of games, anything. So you have to be trained for it. Means you have to be prepared for it. So if the process of preparation for any type of task, we call it as training. Or in other words, we can say that training is a systematically planned preparation with the help of various exercises. So training, when we talk about, it is a systematically planned preparation. Systematically planned preparation with the help of various sports. The help of various types of exercises which we are going to carry out for that particular type of sports or the games for which we are being trained. Okay. Now whenever you go for a training, you cannot just go like this and start doing the training. है ना? ऐसा नहीं होता है कि बस हम चले गए, बस चलो भैया दौड़ो. This is not done. So there are certain principles of training. So let's see what are the principles of sports training. There are certain principles of a sports training. Now let's see what are the different principles. So the first principle is principle of continuity. Principle of continuity. Okay. Now you know the meaning of continuity. To be continuous. एक के बाद एक, लगातार. Right? So according to this principle, the training should be in a continuous process. No breakage should be there in between when the training period is going on. Whenever you are doing any type of training, you should always be active. It should not be such that for half an hour you have run, you have done some type of exercise and then you are giving a break of half an hour. Again you are starting. So inactivity period should be very less. So if there is because it has been observed that if there is a discontinuity in any type of training, it reduces the physiological capacity of the sports person. Here actually I am discussing sports person because we are discussing about physical education and sports. So the interval between two training sessions should not be maximum. It should not be very long. So the first principle that you should follow is principle of continuity. Second is principle of overload. Principle of overload. It states that there should be greater than normal load on the body, which is required for training, so that you adapt yourself to that particular environment. Now, overload means that the training load should be increased. The number of hours should be increased. More and more of vigorous training should be given. Vigorous exercises should be given, because it is going to increase your performance. You will see your performance is going to be increased. So if your training load is increased, it is going to maintain your performance. It is going to improve your performance. Third is principle of individual difference. Principle of individual difference. According to this principle, every sports person is different from each other, right? Everybody differs from each other. So, the response that is given by one individual after a training or during a training will not be the same that is given by the other person. Maybe what response one is giving, if this for the same training, if the other one gives a response, it may be in a more modified way. It can, more of modifications will be done by him. So now, for an individual to respond, there are certain factors that show this response. There are certain differences. Now, why this difference is there? The first is that some may be having more of muscular power, other may be having less of muscular power, or their muscles, if they get fatigued, their recovery rate will be more, the others' recovery rate will be less. So this principle is seen if sports training is being given. Then the next principle for sports training is principle of progression. Principle of progression. Now, if a person is going for a training, if he is a new one, है ना, ओवरलोड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग शुड नॉट बी डन ऑन हिम. ऐसा नहीं कि बस आज वो आया और उसके ऊपर बस इतना बोझ लाद दो, ही इज नॉट एबल टू डू इट. सो ट्रेनिंग शुड स्टार्ट स्लोली एंड slowly. Vigorous training should be done after some time. Let that person be adjusted to that particular environment, to that particular situation, and then only this vigorous training can be done. Because if the overload of training is given to him, or if his load is increased too rapidly, it may damage his muscles, it may cause injury to him, and he may get exhausted and injured very fast. Exhaustion power is going to increase. So slowly and slowly his time period for training should be increased, and his load should also be increased slowly and slowly. Next is the principle of specificity. Principle of specificity. According to this principle, exercising a certain part or component of the body primarily develops in the part. It means that if you have to become better in a particular exercise, then that exercise should be performed, for which you have to be trained for. Like if you have to play basketball, then your training should be given on your skill of the basketball only. Now if you have to play for basketball and you are being trained for cricket, is it possible that you are going to play? No. So according to your skill is your performance in basketball. So the training should be given according to your skill. Then principle of active involvement. Principle of active involvement. An athlete should always be active throughout his training period. No inactiveness should be shown by the athlete. Effective training program can only be carried out if the people who are undergoing training, as well as the trainers, the coaches, both of them are active. Then only the training program will be an effective one. The next principle is the principle of variety. Principle of variety. Principle of variety means, like the training program is a very long term process. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये it will be completed in 4 minutes, it will be completed in 5 days, or it will be completed in 1 month. It may take too long for the period to be completed. So, if the same type of training is going on and on and on, then naturally the person will become bored. The athletes, the trainers, the coaches, even the one who is undergoing training, all will get bored up. So, it's better that different types of training should be given. For example, if you are going for a skill, particular type of skill, so different ways for that particular skill only, the training should be given in different ways. Then it will keep up the confidence of the person also, and no boring session will be there. Principle of warming up and heat up. Means warming up exercises should also be there and cooling down exercises should also be there. Before starting the training for a particular type of a skill, warming up exercises should be done. And after the training is over, cooling down exercises should be done. Means you make your body relax. Principle of rate and discovery. Principles of rest and recovery. Principle of rest and recovery. After doing a long session of training, your body needs rest. Our body is a machine. So it also needs rest, it needs food. So after doing a long session of training, after going through a long period of training, so some rest to be given to our body. If any part of our muscles have got fatigued, some time should be given to it to get that fatigued part, that injured part recover. So there should be a proper interval between different training sessions, but it should not be too long. Principle of ensuring results. Principle of ensuring result. Now, when you are going through certain training periods, it has to be seen that when going through certain training periods, is there any change in the sports person during this training period, and what is the ultimate result that we are getting? It should not be such that we are doing so much of vigorous training and then result is nothing. So changes should be brought by the end of the training session. Means a positive result should be there by the end of the training session. The sports person should start performing better what they used when they had joined the training session. So that is very important. So the end thing is that a result should be there whenever a training session is going. Or after any type of training session, a better result, a positive result has to be there. Principle of cyclicity. Sports training programs, they are developed through various training cycles like macrocycle, mesocycle, microcycle. So what is this macrocycle? Macrocycle is said to be the longest phase of training. Longest cycle of training or longest phase of training. The duration of which lasts for 3 to 12 months. Then mesocycling is the training period. It is a medium duration period which may be for 3 to 6 weeks, and the microcycle is the shortest duration period which may be for 3 to 10 days. So in this way we have seen that whenever we go for any type of training program, there are certain principles. Any type of a sports training program, it allows for other training also, but we are talking about sports. So, any sports training program, there are certain principles which has to be kept in mind. Without principles, any type of training program cannot be carried out. Certain rules and regulations have to be followed for the training program. Okay. So, this is all for today. So, in this way, we have understood what are the different principles that should be followed before carrying out with the training program. Thank you so much, children. I hope it's clear to everyone.